For a very long time, Ggez has been the main DPS for ShadowGlow, up until very recently where we can use Lapis and Meta Drew to get a better score than Ggez teams. Now I've come up with another team that works even better than Ggez, but it's slightly worse than Lapis team, and that is running Mingxiu. And also this team is way more replicable than the other two teams. It's also less RNG as well, because the resonance that you need is not that high. There's one unit that you need R6, but the rest you can just get R0 or you can even replace them. So with this team you can get upwards of 600 million plus in ShadowGlow, which is like double the score of Ggez teams, which is again going to be running Mingxiu as the main DPS. Now when it comes to the resonance that you need, Zihi is actually better at R0 and D0, which you'll see in a bit. And then your meta era can be either R0 or R4. R4 is obviously going to be better. Sakura needs to be R6 because you want her to give the additional stats. Xuanpin can be R0. She can also be replaced as well. Lucian can be R0 or R6. It doesn't matter what his resonance is. And then Mingxiu is free, so you should have him at R6. Now for the replacement, you can actually switch your Zihi for a 3-star unit, which I'll show you in a bit. Xuanpin, again, just needs to be R0, but if you don't have a Xuanpin, you can also use Alice in this case. It's going to be a lot worse, but it is still usable. Now for the relic sets, you want your Zihi to be on a decently fast set. It doesn't need to be extremely fast. She just needs enough speed to take one turn. She needs to be as squishy as possible. This is going to be very important. And the 2P set does not matter. As long as you can make her die, that's already good enough. Meta Era is going to be on your fastest Astral set on counter attack. Make sure she has the second highest attack in the team, because you want her to get the horse buff. Make sure it's going to be on Thunder set and Brawler set, because you're now going to be spamming his S1. You don't need to run Meta Drew in this team anymore because Mingxiu already ignores defense. Each action that he takes, he will ignore 20% defense. Sakura is going to be on a Harmony slow set, 0 speed, on HP, and counter set. It's very important to have most of your units on counter set because you want your Meta Era to gain 20 stacks of cadence so that she can call in your allies for assist with her S3. Xuanpin is going to be on your fastest relief set on counter as well. And then lastly, your Lusheng is going to be on Harmony set and counter. 0 speed on this one. I'm just going to do 110 run. And the average is around 300 to, yeah, sometimes you can get 500 million. If you get the perfect RNG, then you can also even get 600 million. It's much more consistent than any Ggez teams, because Ggez teams rely on the team dying, right? Your entire team dying. Whereas this one, you only need one unit to die, which is going to be your Zihi. Sometimes you'll have runs where you get like 30 million score because your Mingxiu couldn't get any attacks in during the multiplier phase. I'm going to show you the 448 million run. Alright, so for turn 1, your Zihi is going to get one shot by the boss after she S3. So your Era is going to go first. She's going to AP push everyone. Sometimes your Mingxiu gets assist and then you get one shot on your Zihi. It doesn't matter. As long as she can cast her S3 twice, that's already good enough. That's going to give you 20% increased damage. And then after that, on the second hit of ShadowGlow, your Zihi is going to die. Which means, during the multiplier phase, you have one less unit to take up the turns so that your Mingxiu and your Meta Era can do all of the work. So when it comes to this team, again, there is a bit of RNG, which is when your Xuanpin casts her S3 or S1 or S2, you want your Mingxiu to assist proc with his S1. Because the more times you assist proc with your Mingxiu, the more damage he's going to do, the more defense he's going to ignore. And before you get into this multiplier phase, you want your Meta Era to have 20 cadence stacks so that she can call in all of your teammates for assist. As you can see right now, my Mingxiu is doing about 2.5 to 5 million damage now on his S1. Because he's stacking up his defense ignore, right? So as you can see, 24 million on the multiplier phase. Again, much more consistent than Ggez teams. Alright, now let me show you a alternative for Zihi and also Xuanpin. You can run Chalmers for the substitute for Zihi, and then you can run Alice for Xuanpin. Now this is obviously going to be way worse. Right, so here's the reason why you want to run Chalmers if you don't have a Zihi. His R4, or not his R4, I think it's R2. Yeah, R2, when his HP is below 50%, ally damage plus 8%. Even when he dies, this buff will persist for your team. Which means if you run Chalmers instead of Zihi, you'll have 8% instead of 20%. It's going to be a downgrade, but it is still going to be pretty decent. You don't need any relics on him. And then now you're going to be running Alice instead of Xuanpin. You're going to be putting her on the relief set Avatara, same set as Xuanpin. And now you also want to position your units correctly. Since you're running Alice, her S1 will call in the ally on the far left more times than the allies on the right. But you don't want to do this, because if you do this, then your Era is going to get the Prima buff, right? So you want to still maintain this position right here. but you want your Mingxiu to be on the leftmost spot right here, so that he has more chance to assist with his S1. Alright, let's do a few blitz. Again, the score is going to be much lower, but it's still something that you can use if you don't have an R2 Shenpin. There we go, we can still get 300 million with this team. Nice. 375. Sometimes you occasionally get like 100 million runs. 310 again, 339. So this is the highest, 375. This team is the easiest one to replicate because you have Mingxiu, which is free. You have Lu Sheng that only needs to be R0. Alice is a 4-star. Sakura is also... there's many ways you can get Sakura. I think they've added Sakura's ripples in the temporal tower box as well. So that's one way you can get her. Chalmers is a 3-star. And then there's Meta Era, which you still can get free to play. But if you get really unlucky and you hit PT for all of your summons, then you might not get Meta Era. So there is that one chance. It still relies on whether you have Meta Era or not. Because Meta Era is the only one that can make Mingxiu assist without taking additional turns. If you want to run like, for example, Liam or Chu Yao, they will need to cast their S3 first and then go into their S1, which will then call in Mingxiu for assist. So that's one wasted turns. Whereas if you were to run Meta Era, you only need to cast your S3 and then all of your units will assist proc. And she pretty much has no cooldown on her S3. So the highest average that I got with this new setup is going to be about 400 million. Yeah, 393 million, which is not bad. It's almost on par with like Lapis teams, except for like R4 Meta Era Lapis teams. You can't compete against R6 Unas and Meta Drew teams. It's just impossible. So yeah, again, this is going to be the inferior version. If you don't have a Zihi, you can run Chalmers. If you don't have a Shenpin, you can run Alice. And then the rest of the team is going to be the same. So now we can completely remove Daji from ShadowGlow teams, which is a good thing because she is a limited Esper, right? That's about it. Ciao.